actually is $6.95, not $6.59. So it's good that I didn't really get a chance to mold this thing sooner, because I would have done it wrong. Let's get this thing positioned the way I want it. Looks good. I just glued on the wooden painted numbers with a few tiny little drops of crazy glue, and when the letters, some of them were a little bit warped, but I was able to use a specially designed clamp to hold them down while the crazy glue was doing its thing and starting to set up, which didn't take too long. It is crazy glue after all. Or super glue, rather. Whatever you call it, cyanoacrylate, acrylase, cyanoacra something. CA glue. Basically the same thing. Mostly I keep it around for medicinal purposes. This one is much coarser. It even has a couple of holes in it. But I'm just going to get a little bit thicker cover over the pattern. Alright. Just going to put a little more. Pack it down with my fingers a little bit. Just gently, to get everything kind of locked into place. Into those corners, so the flask won't want to move around. And you can kind of feel the sand firming up a little bit, which is, I think, what you want. I mean, disclaimer, I'm learning this stuff, teaching it to myself. So when I say you should do this or that, that's based on what I've been able to learn through some experience over the last 4 years, I guess, and a lot of reading on the online forums and whatever books I could find on foundry work. Alright, that said, away we go. I go around the edges first. Squeezes everything in toward the middle from there, so that it packs the pattern in a bit tighter, rather than later on when I'm ramming the middle, rather than having the sand being able to push back out toward the sides. You can kind of feel when it begins to firm up a bit. You don't want to ram too much more than you have to, otherwise you risk trapping air inside and steam inside the mold. The sand needs to have some permeability. So it's a balancing act between ramming it tight to get a nice finish on your casting and leaving the sand open enough to breathe a little. So I try to go by, I just start to feel it firming up, and that's when I stop ramming that spot and move on a little. That's why sometimes you see me go over some of these rows twice in some areas of them. I'll go back. It didn't quite feel like it firmed up as much as the rest of the mold has been. When I say scratching, it's important. Yeah, I'm only going to do it on the spots that I kind of smoothed out. Maybe that's wrong. We'll see. Half the mold drops out, half stays in the box. Oh no, I was wrong. I believe I can go with the butt end now. I think this is going to be the last of the sand for this one, for this side. Oh, I should probably try and do the crazy flip move that Sandrammer did on his channel, but I don't think I'm up to it. I didn't build the right sort of lip on the edge of my bench anyway. I think I just wound up losing half a cup of sand on the shed floor. It almost worked. I guess I can't try and save every grain. Do a proper job of this time. Oh boy. That's what you don't want to do. I think this mold will survive though. We can still get a good casting here. You can find the Scotch tape, but packing tape will do fine. So, sprue. I'm gonna make some little air vents on the end of the trash gate here. Just to make sure that, you know, air is not getting trapped inside the mold. Keeping it from filling, because it is quite a fairly thin pattern and all that. It's going to be sloped uphill like this, so that it's just one front of metal pushing, but it's going to be compressing all the air that's in there, and I should vent the coat. But let's see if I remember. Let me get a good base of sand around the bottom of these vents. Not sure how I'm going to ram around those. I like that this sprue kind of sits down in a hole in the splash basin pattern. It makes it easier to not have it walk around on you. Here comes the tricky part. Normally I just use my this sharpened 1/8 inch wire for venting, but I just wanted These are pretty thin. I don't think they're going to make the pattern or the casting shrink or anything like that. Just a little insurance. And again, that's at Fishbone's recommendation. Them guy copied the idea for the gating of this pattern off of. He says he puts gate vents like this on the far end, so I've seen his work. It looks good, so I'm not gonna argue. Sand's getting low. I had enough to do this one last time, so nobody will lose enough. Just who knows what, evaporation. I wouldn't lose too much sand to evaporation to finish ramming it up again. I do plan on getting more sand, but it might take me a while to figure out how to make that happen. There's lots of time because it's probably going to be my last winter anyhow. Oh, it is tiring. I will scratch this one since I'm just going to use the butt end of the rammer for the last layer, and I know that's going to be the next layer. Oh yeah, vents. Good time as any. And try and go to about there. Hopefully I won't nick the pattern. Alright. See if I can demold this pattern. Oh, jeez. Can you see that? I scraped it right on there. That's these things, you gotta watch out for these, I guess. Huh. That's no good. No good at all. I think I'm gonna have to redo the cope. What a pain. You know what? I can grind it out. It's gonna be, it's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. But Oh, here, let me just show you what I got going on here. That got gouged out. But if you look at that, that's good. That fills in that hole there. That means there'll be no flashing at that point. This part is going to make a bump on the back of the casting that I'm going to have to somehow grind off. It looks clean through there. I can't tell about that one. Just going to tip this up for a minute. Try and blow some of this stuff out of here while I can. Well, it's not perfect, but most of the problems with it can be sort of ground off later on. This is the part where I put down some parting to keep loose grains from sticking when I do a test closing of the mold. Light dusting, that's all it really needs. The more you put, I've found, the harder it is to blow it back out later. Try to scrape this thing off on it again. Looking pretty good. I should probably make sure that those vents are empty because it looks like they actually weren't. Just blowing out the little bits that fell and the extra parting. I'll try getting a better look at these vents. They're still full of sand. Dangerous maneuver. Oh geez. Alright. I didn't cut the pouring basin. I'll have to take this off, do that, close it up again. That's what happens when you don't do this for a few weeks. You start to forget the few little things that you do know. Itchy. Ah. Ah. Whew. And there we have it. House number mold at last. Now, what I'm actually going to do is put this down inside the bench and close it up because it's raining cats and dogs out there today, and I don't want to spill molten metal in a poodle and get some kind of crazy steam explosion, burn my face off. So it's going to be in storage, but it sure is humid enough out there. It's foggy and raining, despite being the heart of winter. So I think it'll stay fresh enough. It won't start to turn into dust on the inside. At least not before it does on the outside. In other words, I'm hoping it'll keep. I don't mind melting pouring in the cold weather. I mean, no more than I mind doing anything else in the cold weather. But it's impossible to make a mold like this when it's, 20 degrees below freezing. The sand is just water bonded, water and clay, and if the water's frozen, the sand's not going to stick. If the sand doesn't stick, you can't make it into a mold. Which is why I'm happy we're getting this little heat wave. That way, sometime as long as I keep up shoveling my melting and pouring area, whenever it snows, at some point I'll find some time when I can actually take the time to melt and pour, and then it'll be this mold's turn to get dragged out to the backyard and poured full of molten aluminum. Which is good because my sister wanted her house numbers last Christmas, and I didn't even get them done for this Christmas. You know how it is.